So if you pour Black culture into a shoe, you get a Jordan. Right? If you pour Black culture into a record player, you get DJing. You get hip hop if you pour it in there. You know what I'm saying? You pour Black culture into music, you get rap. You pour Black culture into a phone, you get Instagram and TikTok and all those things. The infrastructure is there. So this is the software is there. What makes the software the dopest shit on the planet is we pour into it.
Comrades, welcome to Not All Hood. Innovation meets unapologetic Black power when it comes to Isaac Hayes III. He's a musician, a tech disruptor, culture shifter, and the founder of Fanbase. He is laser focused, and I mean focused, on changing how we connect online and who profits from it. And this man loves Atlanta. For him, it's more than a city. It's a real Black Mecca. His bold vision, every Black person in America should consider moving to Atlanta to shift the political needle. He says if you don't have a place to stay, you can stay with him. Okay, Isaac, enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, we give each other shit all the time.
Should be a monolith.
Black people
should be a monolith. Wow.
A monolith in code and behavior, monolithic behavior, not identity, not how you want to pray, what you want to wear, how you want to express yourself, who you want to love. No, but how we move, we need monolithic community because we are screwed in a major way.
So there's some attributes that we should all be sharing, such as?
Well, something that I say all the time is that Black people are a nation without a nation. We have no nationalism. And every other group of people, indigenous, foreign, international, have a culture that dates back hundreds of years that is so connected to who they are. And we don't have that because we're in America. So Black culture is the smallest culture group on earth and the youngest, but the most influential. So there is no Black America outside of America. So if you come from Jamaica, you can come to the United States of America because there's a Jamaica to go back to.
Sure.
Or there's a Haiti to go back to, or there's a Ghana, or a Japan, or a Germany. So there's nowhere for Black people to go back to. So all those people come here with a set of traditions, codes, values, unity that we don't have because we've been splintered from the beginning. So that's why I mean monolithic behavior. We move in code. The Jewish community moves in code. The Islamic community moves in code. The white community moves in code. We don't move in code. We're fractured. And so that's why if we move together, we could do whatever we wanted to do in like seconds.
So I love the concept of that, right? But I always go back to, so I have this philosophy that, human beings are not designed to all get along, if you will, right?
All right, perfect.
So
you're exactly right.
So when I think about pre-colonized Africa, and I think about just tribal warfare, so even, if we go back to the motherland, everyone didn't move in that code.
They moved in that code within their tribe.
Within their tribe, okay. So if we have different facets of the Black community, right? Because we tend to always talk about the Black community like it's just one. But so there are different groups and different facets of Black community, different lanes of Black community that aren't necessarily aligned enough to move in the way that you're talking about, which I agree in concept, and I believe in concept that's cool, but I question how that would really work because we all have different
sacrifice that a lot of us aren't willing to make. So I've lived in Atlanta since I was 3 years old. I have never a day in my entire life felt like a minority. I have no idea what that feels like. I have no idea to feel like somebody white is in the way of me accomplishing anything or making me feel inferior or that I can't accomplish them or I'm not smarter than they are, I don't know more than they are, or I'm not as educated or as talented or as confident as any of them. Never in my life. And the only reason that that exists is because of a chain of events that was started through civil rights with Martin Luther King, which led to 5 years after his assassination, we elected our first black mayor, Maynard Jackson. And that transition from the church to politics was the beginning, because they were like, look, we can march all day long, but they're just gonna shoot us, whatever. But we infiltrate the government and then write laws that economically benefit us. That changes, that's a code, how we move. So politics has served as a great tool to create black wealth that no other section of America has been able to do with black people. So I don't know how familiar you are with Maynard Jackson and his legacy, but when he came to Atlanta, he integrated the police force. He created the joint venture contracting system, which means government contracts, you should just go to firms like, you have a firm, I'm gonna pay your firm to build this building. Maynard Jackson, and all those contracts are going to white people. And so Maynard came in and said, no, you'll get 75% of the contract, but 25% of the contract by law has to go to these black people. So I don't care if you're selling stuff in the airport, if you're building the airport, if you're doing food services, if you're doing sanitation, if you're doing landscaping, if you're doing construction, all of these things, these contracts have to by law go to black people. So if you fast forward to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I can't remember how many billions of dollars that stadium cost, but 25% of that contract had to go to H.J. Russell and Company.
So that's still in existence.
Yeah, it's higher. It's up to 33%. Even in the airport, so the airport does $6 million in concessions every year. Business, mm-hmm. 6 billion, not a million, billion. And by law, 33% of that business has to go to black-owned businesses, meaning, if you want to put a business in the airport, you can put your business in the airport, but just go find somebody black to own it. So there's a Shake Shack in the airport. Mm-hmm. You're all familiar with Shake Shack?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, but the owner of Shake Shack in the airport is a black man. Because they can't build no Shake Shack in the airport unless you go find somebody black to build it. That's what code look like. That's how you make people rich beyond, it's in the law. So when I said it takes sacrifice, we often talk about reparations or legalizing marijuana, decriminalizing marijuana, and then owning the marijuana industry based off of how we were criminalized.
Sure.
So I think black people in the state of Georgia, I can't remember sometime, I think I researched, were criminalized somewhere around 78 to 80% of the criminal the arrests and convictions were black people
in Georgia.
That's right.
All right, so now that everybody's going around and legalizing weed, it should only fair that 80% of the business should be owned by black people. But the only way you get that accomplished is you got to have a black governor. So how do we get a black governor? We almost had one. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then people talk about reparations. I hear reparations conversations, all these councils, committees. I know of reparations only being able to pass two ways, federal and state. So if you need bodies to pass laws, and I say this all the time, I said, Texas has the largest population of black people in the country. I think it's like 4 million African-American people live in the entire state of Texas. I'm gonna say this now, which I always say. If all 4 million of those black people decided to pick up their stuff, get in cars and move to Atlanta, I would let as many of them sleep on the floor of my townhouse for the next 2 years, as long as Tyler Perry and Will Packer and every other black person that got room in their house to do so.
Same thing.
And then let's register all of us to vote. Let's get a black governor, a black house, a black representative, and pass whatever the hell we want to. And you know what happens when people say that? I just can't pack up my car and just drive from Texas to Atlanta. I don't know. Meanwhile, I literally watch migrants walk from Central and South America barefoot just to have the opportunity to get to the United States of America, having no idea how they're going to eat or survive, just for a taste of freedom. And you can't pack up a Nissan Sentra and drive from Houston to Atlanta and sleep on the floor for a year or two to change the course of your life.
Well, and that's what you mean by sacrifice, because people are too much, they're too comfortable. They wouldn't do that.
And that is why Black people don't operate as a monolith, because we're so comfortable. Everybody has their own agenda. I got to feed my family. Let all these pixels. When I say we live in the Matrix,
yeah.
See, that's one of those pixels. I got to feed my family. Okay, that's just an excuse to not be unified. We're family. We got to feed all of our family. We have to be building things that feed our collective community. If not, we get passive about the very few people that are successful and supposed to accept their success as enough for us. So if Tyler Perry makes it and Robert S. Smith and Oprah and Jay-Z and LeBron make it, that should be good enough for the rest of us.
Right.
So I understand what I understand what you're saying. A lot of it is the times in which we're living and the political force. So that you're from you were born in Memphis, right? Mm-hmm. All right, but then you grew up in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And then you say you've never been made to feel like a minority. Mm-hmm. But then the reason I've been made to feel like a minority is because, and a lot of other people, is just because of the history and the civil rights movement, to look for better times, migrate up north, send for people back down south, and then we're split, go back and visit our cousins down in the summer because they're still there, and all the roots. That's why we have jazz, that's why we have blues. Correct, we can't connect it to anybody in Ghana, but it is African-American culture, and that's where it was born.
Generation one.
Right, generation one. Now I just lost my point. What was I gonna say? But I think that you not feeling like a minority ever and not knowing what that looks like, you have a good name, sir. I mean, I'm just saying that if people are watching this, going to say, well, of course he hasn't made him feel like a minority. You're Isaac Hayes III. And I also think that certainly that plays into it. I'm just being real.
I will challenge anyone that sees this show that any person that has lived in Atlanta their entire life will say they have never felt like a minority. Here's why. How can you feel like a minority if you wake up every day, the mayor is Black, the city council is Black, one of the lead construction companies is Black.
But the Bank of America isn't Black.
No, but
you're going to get a loan. Like at some point.
No, and actually, in Georgia and Atlanta, because I got in a conversation with Van Lathan about this.
Okay.
I think the amount of Black people that get approved for home loans is like upwards of 80, 90% in Atlanta. It's like crazy amounts.
But has that always been? Again, we live in a different time.
No, but we've lived in this era that until Black people see themselves not as the media tries to portray them, as like athletes and rappers and drug dealers.
Anything in entertainment.
Right. So Atlanta, that's what I always talk about. Like if you ever hear LA and Babyface talk about why they moved to Atlanta, they would tell you why they moved to Atlanta.
I don't recall.
So they were in LA and Pebbles came out here for something. And her and LA were married, and she said, these are, can I curse? I don't curse.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Look, First Amendment. Go ahead.
But she went back to LA and said, we're moving to Atlanta. There's niggas with mansions out there. We out. I seen niggas with mansions. Even Deion Sanders, he said he wanted to be in Atlanta because he said there's doctors and lawyers, and I've never seen people have these dentists. I've never seen people like that. Like all my doctors said my dentist is Black. My doctor, cardiologist, all Black people.
Right. And you probably had choices of Black people that you could choose from.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a different. I'm telling you, you can ask anybody. That's why Atlanta is the way that it is.
Yeah. I didn't get the same feeling when he said that. Yeah, I didn't get the Isaac Hayes legacy connect.
No.
That feels like an Atlanta sentiment. And so Atlanta, I've been here 7 years now, and Atlanta to me feels like an anomaly.
Yeah.
Right. Like, how come this hasn't happened in other states, other cities, other capitals?
Because you need the populace. So 55% of all Black people live in the South. So we have to understand, like, I look at like politics like Game of Thrones, like moving the pieces around the board, like, okay, what territories are we going to take? So it's prolific and powerful as a messaging of Black people that come out of California, right? And that want to fight for reparations and all these things. Black people only make up 6% of LA County. It's never going to happen. Just do the math. It'll never happen. You will never get anything. You will never get an agenda specifically passed on your behalf simply by the numbers. So you need large groups of voters to move into one section and then duplicate that. What I like about Atlanta is it's kind of trickled into Alabama a little bit and trickled into Mississippi. And that's what happens. It's like, oh, if everybody, I'm telling you right now, if everybody black in the United States of America moved to like North, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, we would be running everything.
Comrades, if you're enjoying this episode, join the conversation and make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Nah.
You've completely blown my mind. I think this is like this is the first vision that I've heard in a long time that has completely uprooted my thinking about possibilities.
It's there though. You have to Atlanta has, it's like, I catch myself all the time. There's moments where I forget that I'm in Atlanta and I lived here my whole life. I'll tell you 2 quick stories.
Okay.
It's like when I first moved to close to Buckhead, I was shopping for furniture and I went in CB2. There was a CB2 in Midtown. And I'm looking around there, looking at furniture and something. And so then I went up to I was about to go ask this black dude. I was like, yo, like I wanted to check something out.
Yeah.
And get ready to get up out of there and say, I wanted to ask about this. And as soon as I started talking to him, this white girl comes up to me and says, can I take my break now? And I was like, oh, you're in charge.
Wow.
Blew my mind.
Wow.
I said,
Wow.
I am in Atlanta.
Wow. Right.
I'm in the ATL. Like that
is different.
You be forgetting
Yeah.
that, oh, okay, you're in charge.
Yeah.
Or you walk into a restaurant and I say this all the time, when you walk into a restaurant, like if all of us would go to a restaurant in a different city. Let's say we go to a restaurant in, I don't know, Cincinnati. We walk in there, if the restaurant had all white people in it and we came in there, we wouldn't feel uncomfortable about that because that's the norm.
Right.
Right. But imagine what happens when you see, like, I'll be where my office is in West Midtown and there's a bar and a restaurant, or I'll go to Houston's and it's all black people. And white people walk in there and they be like, do we belong here? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I said, that's what it's like to feel like a minority. And I said, see, yeah.
You've never felt like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Do I belong? I feel like I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And Atlanta has that type of energy.
And you're
just
saying
had
that's the only place in this country so far that you think that's something kind of, if everybody moves there, that it's got the base enough to happen.
Well, I told you, you build empires you don't build empires from operating in different sectors. You build empires, you expand them. So if Atlanta's the first successful then let's expand the empire to Georgia. And then let's expand our empire to Alabama. And then let's expand our empire to Mississippi. And keep doing that and just keep flooding this area with people. And you can't stop it. Like Georgia is 35% African-American.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlanta's like 49% African-American. Like that's not hard. We can flip that. Especially with people that have a more liberal agenda. That's nothing. We can have a black governor. This next governor's race, we should have a black governor. Mm-hmm. There should be no reason that we don't. There's 10 million people that live in Georgia, 7 million registered. Only 4 million people voted the first time that Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp won. And what's important about that is a black governor has the power to create those types of laws, decriminalizing marijuana,
sure, passing
reparations on a statewide level, all those things that you're able to do. So I just look at the long game. There's a city. Have you ever heard of a city called South Fulton?
No.
Anybody know that? There's a city in Atlanta called South Fulton. It was unincorporated Fulton County. And these guys, and I love my guy Roger Bruce, who's a state rep, decided to turn South Fulton into a city. And I was like, why would you do that? Because Atlanta was, the ratio of black population was declining. And I was like, why would you make your own city? Why would you not annex into Atlanta? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You annex into Atlanta. South Fulton has 100,000 extra citizens. So now you take Atlanta from a 500,000 population to a 600,000 population city with 100,000 new extra voters. when we're winning elections by 872 votes.
Right.
So what was his
They're and if you look at South Fulton is a mess. Look, anybody see this that live in South Fulton, they be like, yo, we want out. The trash don't come on time. The trash be piled up. I don't know who to call. I call APD or South Fulton Police. The mayor be going to Africa for like 3 months and they be arguing online. But I guess they just felt like they decided that Atlanta was going to fall at some point. And so this is the backup. And I'm like, nah, just bruh, pull that bad boy in. Because even you get like, I think with every 25,000 citizens, you get a city council seat. So imagine expanding. It's like, that's what I'm saying. It's literal math. It's like, okay, so now we expand the city council to 4 more people that are probably going to be Black city council members. So yeah, all in favor, say aye, pass. All right, let's keep it moving. Like that's no different than any other white municipality does across the country every day, 365 days a year. They pass laws on their behalf. They sign ordinances that say, you can't open this bar here. You can't build this building here. You can't tile it. Like imagine that. A Black man. Yeah. Kasim Reed, 3 mayors ago, sold Tyler Perry 350 acres for $35 million. That amount of land in LA would cost about $800 million. And in New York City, it would cost about $1.3 billion. But even take off that aside, do you think a white mayor of any of those cities would have sold a Black man enough money to build a movie studio bigger than any movie studio in America? No. The only reason is because there's a Black mayor there. So it's like, oh, I want to build a movie studio. Sure. Buy that old military base. We don't want nothing with that anyway. How much y'all want? We want $35 million. Take it. And now he has the biggest movie studio in the country that's owned by a Black person. That only happens in Atlanta. You only get Tyler Perry. You only get LA and Babyface and Jermaine Dupri and the Gathering Spots and all these businesses that pop up. You only get Fanbase in Atlanta. Yeah. You only get those types of businesses because we have the balls to build things, the audacity to build things like, what? You gonna try to do what? You gonna build a movie studio? Right. Yeah. Man, get out of here. Okay. Why?
But you're right. There has to be more of it because not everybody can come to Atlanta, right? So even if everybody can. Every Black person cannot come in America cannot come to Atlanta.
That's what he's proposing.
What I'm saying, this is what I'm saying though.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that what you said earlier is that it has to be expanded to Mississippi, to wherever, so that Black people can have more places to go.
What I mean by, so let me give you a little bit of background before I sound like an asshole. Okay. So my father lost the rights to his music a year before I was born. Yes. He filed for bankruptcy. Stax Records owed him $12 million in 74. That was like $50 million, $60 million in 2025. Right.
That couldn't be passed along.
He never saw that money. All right. Then, because he defaulted on a loan, they took his catalog, not as an income stream, but as a right. So usually when you default on something in the music business, say, oh, you owe us $2 million, the checks just keep going to the people till the loan gets paid off. Right. No, they took the asset in perpetuity from him. Then they sold it to somebody else in like 83, 84, and then sampling comes along. So every song that you ever heard that with Isaac Hayes sample in it in the course of hip hop over the last 35, 40 years, he never saw a dime of that money. Being that, when we lived in Atlanta, my parents got divorced, I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my mom and 2 sisters, right? So one slept on the floor, one slept on the couch. I slept in my mom's bed with her through middle school. Okay. And then in high school, she was like, you're a grown boy. We got a 2-bedroom. And my sister slept in the bed with my mom through high school. And then I had my own bedroom. So I don't want people to think that I don't know about sacrifice or what being broke is like. Because I come from like, we ain't have that. Like my dad had it was 11 children that he had. And I got to think about the pressure and the shame that falls upon a man that sees all these records being made and his checks going to somebody's mailbox or 2 white people and they're putting their kids through college and they're building generational wealth off his. But my point is that I know what sleeping on the floor is like. I've done it. I could do it again. I'm not afraid. I've always worked. I've always had jobs. Like I always had jobs at 13, 14 years old. I've always been an entrepreneur. So I've never been afraid of hard work. So I'm saying, that's why I say, yo, y'all want to come sleep in my house? Y'all can come sleep in my house all day long.
You know that experience.
Yeah, y'all can do that. That's not a problem. We've had to stay with friends. But my point is, you can stay in my house, but just make sure you register to vote. Right. So y'all only in here for like 2 years. So then when we win, everybody gonna get jobs. We can go run it up and do what we need to do.
You can change the law. Like,
oh yeah, we gonna wipe out all these little ordinances that don't let you own property here and there and all that. So what I mean is, when you can see someone, well, I think we get caught up in levels of sacrifice that that we kind of get, I'm not gonna say entitled. We just lose sight of like people that really struggle.
Yeah.
And imagine living somewhere in the Middle East right now, trying to do this.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that a missile could come right through here and just kill everybody all right.
Right.
But you still got to go do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can't pack your Nissan Sentra and sleep on the floor for 2 years. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I can see that. I mean, a family who has 5 kids and they're in school and they've got 2 of them that are in college and they're hoping for, their son to do this or their daughter to do that. No, they can't. I mean, you are not going to find people by the droves to do that.
But I think it goes back.
I mean, I see your point, but I see the practicality of it.
Guess who did it, though? Tyler Perry did.
He did, singularly.
No, but hold on. You ever heard of Candy Cakes?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew Hall. So Andrew Hall had a cupcake business in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, she did out of her house?
She had a cupcake business in Jacksonville before. She brought her ass up to Atlanta and Candy Cakes blew up.
Okay.
Her and her daughter. My point is, a lot of the success stories of people that come to Atlanta aren't people originally from Atlanta. They migrate.
Right.
Most of the people that run the music business, LA Babyface did it. They packed their shit.
Right.
Yes, I think at the end of the day, like when we talk about like really making change, and we talk about revolution, right?
Right.
I don't believe that we are built for what it requires for real change and real revolution to happen.
Not 2025.
So by design, we're all such creatures of comfort. And it makes me think like, how fucked up does it have to get before people like, okay, we have to.
We're almost there.
No,
we're almost. I'm joking.
Yeah, they're still comfortable.
But nobody flinches. They still keep pushing the line and don't nobody move.
No, that's true.
So let me ask you this though. I think with anything, obviously it's easier because you have a different perspective when you're on the outside of what's happening and you can see what other people can't see. So it's easier to be able to point out things. Mm-hmm. Would you at any point go into politics?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because you told me that the other day.
Oh,
sorry.
Here's the reason why, though. Yeah. Because my agenda is to build kings, not be one. So one of the reasons why I founded a social media platform, because 2 things. I recognize the exploitative relationship between Black culture and social media. That's 1. And we need our own. And 2, how valuable those platforms get. So I'm like, shoot, if I could build something worth. See, there's a phrase that I use in jest, but I'm serious about it. And I was like, we don't have no super niggas. I know that's funny. I'm just saying, and what I mean is a super nigga is someone that is so rich, like damn near our version of T'Challa rich, like that. And what I mean by that is, you remember when Michael Bloomberg ran for president?
And spent $1 billion on advertising?
We need niggas like that. We need Black people
and still
like
lost?
That. Exactly. We need Black people that can lose $1 billion, but I ain't nothing.
Yeah, that's all right.
Because but only spend it in Atlanta or Georgia. Like,
right.
Okay, I'm gonna spend $1 billion. I'm gonna go buy up all the houses in Atlanta and sell them to Black people.
So by the way, on a state level, I'm just going back to your idea. On a state level, that does make sense. On a national level, when we're talking about voting for the presidency, voting for, 2 seats in Congress in your particular state, I'm just thinking about your whole, let's come to Atlanta. I mean, it's
not come to Atlanta,
or come to places that have.
Well, think about this. How many? Okay, so wait. So let's take this.
You see where I'm going now?
There's 4 million Black people in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Does Texas ever go blue?
No.
So those 4 million people in Texas are useless. They serve no point. If you took them same 4 million people and put them in Louisiana or put them in Alabama, now you flip that state. It's numbers. Why you gonna go to, look, I get it. Like I say, if you want to get up every day and go vote in a state that's red consistently, be my guest, but you ain't never gonna win.
But you saw what happened in the last election in terms of the whole idea that, Black men think this way. And then you had 30% of them voting for Trump. And I know we don't want to get into the politics of it, but there are people, places and things that can be flipped that we never saw coming, and it happened. So you take a chance either way.
No, that election went how I thought it was going to go.
Well, I didn't think that 30% of Black men, that shocked me. That was not something that was on my radar 10 years ago or 10 years ago.
And I know why though. Because it's just the marketing.
The marketing, right.
The marketing
true.
and the messaging behind getting people to vote. So again, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but getting up to vote out of your patriotic sense of duty is throw that in the trash.
It's dead.
It's
Yeah.
The only way you get people to vote is you make them mad enough or afraid enough.
Right.
Fear and anger are the biggest motivators.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pissed that there was a Black man that was a president of the United States and we'll never have one again. Now y'all want a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell no.
Right.
Or if you get her in here, she's going to take away your jobs.
Right.
She's going to take food away from your families and give it all away to these Black people and these Mexicans and Muslims and all that kind of stuff. And we, on the other hand, we get mad about whether she's Black or not.
Right.
So we just not scared enough and we're not angry enough.
Right. Yeah. No, I understand.
So I talk about this all the time, which is extremely frustrating. And I don't want to, when I say these things, I try to put it in the frame of like not trying to say that I insult Black people or I'm going to insult us because I am Black. But I know that when I say we live in a matrix and there's things that are done to the Black community, real subtle, like real nefarious things that prevent our growth and our success. Like, I say that Black people are the strongest people. We're the strongest people in the world. African-American people, we're the strongest on the planet. We're strongest physically.
Still here.
Bruh, through all of that, we still here.
Mm-hmm.
But I can dismantle a movement because of how you feel, your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get you to feel the type of way, I can get you to never use your arms and your legs to make a revolution happen. So if I can get, if Jamal Bryant can say, we're doing a 40-day fast from Target, and I can try to make it look like Al Sharpton came in the room to kind of broker a deal, and I can fracture this movement and make people mad, like, well, I'm going back, or all that. Like, even cancel culture. I say this all the time about cancel culture. White people cancel people all the time, but they cancel people for crimes. Harvey Weinstein, they'll cancel you for that. We'll cancel you because we don't agree with what you said. Oh, you went to perform for Trump. You're canceled. Oh, I don't like the way you said that to such and such and so-and-so, how you spoke to her. You're canceled. Why are you gonna do that? That's too sensitive. How you gonna cancel? How you gonna cut your own people down because you don't agree with them? I can understand people that commit crimes. If you're a pedophile, if you're a rapist, if you murder,
right.
You cancel. You're bad. Get them gone. But prime example, like, I might not agree with what Saquon Barkley did, but he's not canceled.
Okay.
It just takes, okay, bro.
Yeah.
Cool. He didn't, his movement, his going to the White House and playing golf with Donald Trump is probably something that people take offense to. But my point is, if you're that mad about it, then what are you going to do about it?
Besides cancel him.
Other than get on the internet and say he's canceled. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
right.
You in your feelings.
Well, but we're culture now trained in order to be in our feelings because people who were, born when Twitter came around, they were texting, I've just been born. That's what they've been doing their whole lives, is posting their feelings. I like, I don't like, I hate. You can become a terrorist just by reading words on a page. Mm-hmm. So that's the time that we're in where I'm telling you my feelings. I know my feelings, even if they're silly, are going to be validated because I just got 2,000 likes and I'm going to keep going. That's the culture that we're in.
Yeah.
So
feelings are facts.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And that attention is often misplaced. Like,
it is.
When we first talked about, we're gonna boycott Target, right?
Yeah.
No one ever talked about we're gonna boycott Google. Right?
Or we're going to leave Meta.
Yeah, never, because everyone's so dependent upon, like, you're getting your information on the boycott from your social media platform.
True. But this is where I was saying there is no such thing as Black media.
Yeah, no, there's not.
Why though?
Well,
there is Black media.
There is, but we don't look at it in the same. Well,
no, we don't use it. There's Black media, but we don't use it.
Plus, there's Black media. Okay.
So we say Black media. So outside of Roland Martin,
every single blog that's on social media is media.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So my point is this. If this is what I find interesting. What black media does is it takes white media stories and just regurgitates them. They don't tell their version. I have no idea what Shannon Sharpe did. Dating a 19-year-old white girl is okay, cool. It's legal, but it's like, bruh.
Right. Okay.
But at the end of the day, when someone makes a story about him, where is the Shade Room story about Tony Busby? Why are we talking about him?
Oh, we definitely have stories about Tony Busby.
No, I'm talking about they take over the lexicon. Right. No, we don't.
Well, we don't have that power. I mean,
we have the power.
And I'm saying you have to. It's algorithms. It's Google. It's not going to be in my feed.
We don't write the story.
Yeah, but if you write the story, somebody still has to share it and look it.
They will.
Okay, but it's out there now and it's not in my algorithm.
No, it isn't. My point is that we will take the byline from another story and take the same story. So if this person did this, we just take the same story. If so-and-so got cheating hearing, like you never.
Well, we have seen Tony Busby in the fact that, from Sean Combs to Shannon Sharpe mentioned Tony Busby.
No. But what I'm saying is this.
Okay, what are you saying?
Tell me, I'll give you. Okay. I'm trying to think. Like, we don't leverage our media in ways that are truly beneficial. I'll give you, okay, here's another. I'm going to be selfish for 2 seconds.
Okay.
I have a selfish moment.
All right.
So, Twitter gets ready to be banned in January. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Let me give you the precursor to that. Let me give you the pre-story. As soon as Donald Trump won and Elon Musk took credit for it, over 25 million people left X and went and downloaded an app called Blue Sky.
They did.
And Blue Sky was sitting up at the top of the App Store. Pause. Blue Sky is not better than Twitter. It's nowhere near as good as Twitter. It doesn't have the functionality or the capability. But white people simply stood on business and said, we out. We're going here. Right? Mm-hmm. Simultaneously, TikTok looked like it's about to get banned.
That's right, at the end of last year.
Yep. What do all the black media sites talk about? Everybody's going to Red Note, a Chinese-owned company. Everybody's going to Lemonade. Not one of them said Fanbase or Spill. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. They just repeat the same things that they say. When you get literally, and I told people, I said, you understand that all y'all talking about Blue Sky like this, they're going to go, this is how it works. They're going to get so many users that they're going to go right back around and be able to raise capital to beat Twitter. And I said it flippantly on Beehive TV show. And I was like, watch my words, mark my words. I said this in like November. Yeah, I said it right before Thanksgiving. I said, mark my words, come January, February 2025, you're going to see Blue Sky raises something at $1 billion valuation. And maybe about a month ago, they said they're raising at $700 million valuation because simply people just moved there. Mm-hmm. And my point is, that's what I mean by we need to operate as a monolith. I mean, there's 42 million black people in the United States of America. I don't care how good or bad or great or terrible you think Fanbase is. If 42 million people downloaded Fanbase that were black, that app would be at the top of the App Store. I promise you my phone would ring and somebody would give me $200 million at a $2 billion valuation. And I can hire, and I got the money to hire whoever. I can go hire every engineer that worked at TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and build whatever the hell we want to. That's what I mean by moving as a monolith. We don't put our foot on the scale collectively to move things. I'll give you a number of examples.
Okay.
Elon Musk has been going through hell.
Yes, he has.
And his stock price has been plummeting. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. Crappy. They talk about everybody hates Tesla. Who likes Tesla? Anybody like Tesla here? You Tesla fan? Somebody must got a Tesla.
How many Teslas did you pass in the parking lot?
I saw a Tesla here, but my point is...
They're not ours.
Not ours. Yes, we're good. Three of us are good.
Have you ever heard of a black EV maker?
No.
See? That's what I'm saying. Look, his name is Derek Bailey, and it's called Derek Automotive. Now, when all that stuff is going on with Elon and everything, where was the Griot? Where was the Shade Room? Where was Baller talking about, let's all go buy his car? That's what I mean by black media don't use black media to do nothing.
Okay, so I guess my question is, and this is from someone who's been in the media for 30 years, if I'm in a newsroom and I happen not to know about that until you just told me, who's telling me? What? I mean, I want to know, was there a press release? Was there an editorial decision to make to not put him on? I can't imagine the Griot would do that because I'm seeing flying cars from Asia. I am seeing cars.
Correct.
So I'm just wondering, editorially speaking, and in that newsroom, did someone say, no, we're not going to promote that black man in his EV? I doubt it.
I guarantee you in existence, every single solitary type of business that exists right now in America that a white person has built, a black person has the same one.
Okay.
I guarantee you there's somebody out here trying to start a black airline, somebody trying to start a black movie studio, a black television network, a black hospital, a black everything. All you gotta do is get on Google and look. Pick them and let's run it up. I can't even think of the name of the guy from South Africa, the black guy. He's always giving motivational speeches and talking, but he was talking about the Jewish community. And he was talking about the African community compared to the Jewish community because they go through the same thing. And he says they practice this thing called Fadergin. And Fadergin is a practice in the Jewish community. And the practice is, if there's someone outside of their community that builds something cheaper and better than us, we still buy from you. And we buy from you, and then if you get it wrong, we tell you how to fix it, and then we buy again.
Someone wants to jump in the conversation over there. I hear the mumblings.
We don't do that, though. We have one bad experience, like, the restaurant, that's why black businesses, being a black, see all that, being a black business is not enough. See, that's when you don't operate as a monolith, shit like that come out your mouth. Being a black business is not enough. It's enough for white people. It's enough for white people to just have a white business and it be enough. It's enough for the Jewish community. It's enough for the Asian, because they put their money right in their communities. They're putting their money directly into their communities. And I'm just at the point right now where it's like, I'm so focused on building Fanbase to a multi-billion-dollar company and inviting everybody that's invested, because look, it's no secret that we have over 20,000 investors in the company. And the reason why I wanted people to invest in the company is because I know how valuable tech startups get. Yeah. And the same thing how you saying, if you didn't know that Derek Bailey, I researched. Before I ever built a social media platform, I just said, well, who does what Fanbase could do? And the only two companies I saw was Patreon and OnlyFans. I said, okay, cool. But who lets you subscribe using your phone with Apple Pay and Google Pay? None of them. So I invented it. I built it. It didn't exist. Now everybody uses it. That's what gives me, see, that's right there. That gives me all that. That's the Atlanta confidence I have. The Atlanta confidence I have is, before Fanbase, you cannot pick up your phone and subscribe to you the same way you subscribe to Netflix or buy something from a game. No app did that. So in all of America, as long as social media has been around, they didn't do it. And then Apple and Google said, you can't do that. Then we build it, a version of it, and then we do it. And then they go let Instagram and TikTok and all them build what we wanted to do.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I see them like, I've seen Instagram copy what I've done. And I know, and people will say, like, I had to come on now. Ain't no way a $1.5 trillion company gonna copy you. I'm like, bro, I got proof. I've seen it.
Plus, that's actually what they do. That's part of their business. And
but people
if they don't, I mean, I'm just saying you are right. Because if they see competition, they just go ahead and buy it too. If they can't steal it, so that's true.
My point is like, you know how, but that competition is always usually way down the road from where we are.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
At this point, I done raised $21 million. We got 1 million users.
Yeah.
We're right here in Atlanta, Georgia. The story that I tell all the time is there's a functionality that we have in Fanbase called Fanbase Audio, similar to Clubhouse or whatever. But we added emojis so that you could emote while you're on the stage. My employee, Noah, the great-great-grandson of Booker T. Washington, walked in the office and said, hey, I think to promote stage reactions, we should use express yourself because you're expressing yourself. And Charles Wright. And I said, oh, that's a good idea. And I said, but the song sounds so old. So I get online and go find a remix from 2005. Hand it to my guy, Andy. We create the piece of content, put it out early March, right? In April, this is March of last year, in April, I get on Instagram and I see Mark Zuckerberg and they got a post, it's got the same song in it. And
The song you had researched, found, and did all
from
of it.
2000. So
the same remix.
Yeah,
The same
remix.
I could play it for y'all right now if y'all want me to. I don't know if we ever do that. I don't know if that's a.
Sure, we've got the time. Let's go. Come on.
No, so because I show people like, oh, so you're so afraid of me that because money's the only thing that separates the ideas. We got the ideas.
Yeah.
Y'all win because y'all got the money. Because they're just gonna keep giving you money till you succeed. Facebook was pre-revenue, not pre-profit, pre-revenue for 7 years. They funded that thing for 7 years. The moment I launched Fanbase on the App Store, we were making revenue because you could subscribe, you could tip. It's like, okay, cool, it's right there. So nobody's running in to just say, uh-oh, a black man built the infrastructure that is aligned with the culture, and we have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. That's a very, very scary position to be in because now where do we get our bread from? Where do we exploit these people? Where do we take advantage of black people to get it? That's why they ain't playing Boots on the Ground on the radio right now. That song's the biggest song in the country right now.
Yeah.
Everybody doing it. Beyonce doing it at her show. I seen Michelle Obama do it. I seen Kamala Harris do it. He been on TV shows. I just seen a commercial today for Guinness beer, and they got the fan. Louis Vuitton got a fan commercial, a fan purse coming out. Radio ain't playing that. He ain't signing nobody that they gonna. But I love how the culture is still. I love how the culture is still pushing that record forward without the machine because now media is not just radio; it's social media. So
that's right.
Listen to it, and we can still go stream it on Apple Music and Spotify.
Yeah.
We can still go get that stuff. Mm-hmm. But the point that I'm making is that these companies copy what we do, and they really sit there and shaking their boots because they're afraid of the day that black infrastructure and black culture come together.
That's right. Because they've been copying.
That's the day that they
like you mentioned Gucci, Louis Vuitton. They've been copying fashions of blacks for years, so that is not new.
American culture is co-opted.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
They're terrified of it. I'm gonna find this post. I wish I had the internet on here. But hold on. I'm gonna turn my volume down so I don't, but I can find it with my volume down. But my point is that they're absolutely
they're scared about the
they're afraid of that.
About the crossing of the two.
They're afraid of it because you're talking about people that are attaining a level like, okay, how many 6,000 billionaires in the world. 6,000. There's 14 black. Bro, that ain't some off.
Yeah.
Some off.
Hey, comrades, if you are enjoying the episode, join the conversation. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Don't get yourself blocked. Keep it clean.
Especially, like you said, the way that we move things. You must have very interesting commentary about the NFL. I mean, when I was watching the draft the other night, well, I won't say what I thought, but...
What was you thinking?
Well, the first thought was, wow, this is something that even in a culture where they're trying to remove black folks from history right in front of our eyes, that we've got 600,000 people watching this live. I mean, in person. It beat out ratings for the Pope. Like you can't get rid of us no matter how much you try. So there was a feeling of, wow, you know what? We really do move the needle. The other thing is that, you just look at the numbers.
Jersey's the number one jersey selling.
What's that?
Shador the number one jersey.
Exactly. But
all that money is it's so much money, dog.
It is. And that those are the types of things that were running when I was looking at
If I get up there and say that black people have $1.8 trillion worth of spending power, and even if I say we spend a fraction on luxury goods and non-essentials, people get upset. But it's true.
Yeah.
Gerard Bell, I can't remember the name of his book right now. He's on Instagram. I Mix What I Like. He made a comment about how keeping black dollars in the black community does not significantly affect poverty.
It doesn't. It doesn't affect poverty. It still affects the money circulating within the community, though. It still helps other businesses survive. We spend so much time and energy on building up other people's things that we never build up our own stuff. And we could. One of the things I love about Atlanta, I say all the time, is anything that white people can do, black people can duplicate that same success in Atlanta, Georgia. I don't care what it is. You want a movie studio? We got one. You want a record label? We got one. We got doctors, lawyers, dentists, religious clergy. We got construction companies. That's another lesson that I learned when I was living in Atlanta. Remember when I said we lived in Atlanta and I forgot
you weren't never treated like a minority?
No, that I forgot that
you were in
Atlanta and realized it.
Yeah.
So about a year ago, it was a news story where the Rolls-Royce SUV, one of them got stolen from the Thompson Hotel in Buckhead. It was a pretty one, a silver one, pretty amazing Rolls-Royce. And then like a few months later, it was spotted on in a YouTube video with swangers on it in Texas. So somebody stole the Rolls Royce and it was on Texas with swangers and the owner found it. I said, what rapper's car did they steal? They talking to the owner of the vehicle and it's a black man and a black woman and they in construction. I'm like, I forget I'm in Atlanta. I be forgetting. We got money down here. We got money, not rapper ball. We got construction contract money. You know what I'm saying? We got like logistical business money. Like we got money. Like, and we operate on that type of fashion. That's why I be forgetting. Like we in Atlanta.
Will you talk about Charles Wright express itself?
I'm about to play it. Look, I'm about to show you I'm about to play this whole thing right here because people, you have to see it to believe it. Yeah, but watch this. Watch how I play it.
He's got it.
I got it. Watch this. No, I want you to see this because this is the most incredible thing you'll hear. The Fanbase story writes itself every day. There was a record by Charles Wright called Express Yourself. For context of this story, this is Noah. Noah works at Fanbase. He's the one that suggested we use Express Yourself. Remember that. Express yourself. Came out in 1970. That to promote one of the functionalities on Fanbase. Express yourself. But I found a remix album from 2005. So remember that. Noah picked the record from 1970. I picked the remix from 2005. Use that record in the content that we made. And we did it in March of this year. Here's a screenshot from March 15th, the day that we posted that song in our content. In April, I seen a video on Mark Zuckerberg's page. This post was on Mark Zuckerberg's page on Instagram. It had the same song in it. I was like, oh. So now you're telling me that if you can't pick the music to make your $1.5 trillion CEO look cool, you're if I get money. If I get the bag, it's a wrap. Because that's the advantage of Fanbase. Fanbase moves at the speed of culture. Yeah. All these other apps move at the speed in which they can copy culture. So you tell me, what are the odds of a random individual picking a record from 1970 and I picked one from 2005 being posted in the post of March of this year and then a month later winds up on Mark Zuckerberg's page? What are the odds?
But you weren't surprised?
No.
Okay.
Because I know that because I'm like, why y'all worried about me? I know why. And that's the number one reason why. See, I'm different. I'm like Blade. Like, don't laugh when I say this, but I've never been with a white woman. So I only date black
Is
women.
there a name for that?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I know they have
Blade.
the name. Apparently.
I'm a daywalker, bro. I've never been with a white woman because I learned a lesson when I was like 17 years old, and I just stayed away. Nothing wrong. I was just like, okay, I understand what it means to kind of be weaponizing whiteness. And from that point on, I was just like, look, I'm not doing that. I'm not. So there's a blackness inside of me that has no desire to permeate or assimilate white culture to be successful. So I don't care. I respect everybody that does the business that they do.
Right.
But I don't feel like I need you to make it. And that's what black people in Atlanta feel like. So I always say, look, Michael Rubin's dope. A lot of people I know that are Lil Baby and Meek Mill, they're all investing in Fanatics and they all doing business with Michael Rubin. But when I see the all-white party on the 4th of July, and then I see all of us go up there who are black, I see Jay-Z and everybody there, it kind of feels like I got Black Friends party. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so when are we gonna throw the the Juneteenth party at Tyler Perry's house and make Michael Rubin fly down to his house. And Kim Kardashian come to his house. Why are we flying to their shit? Come fly to our
Well, I
shit.
guess on their end, they would say they don't need us that way.
No, I'm just, no.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
That's the point, because we're going to theirs.
When we throwing the party at Tyler Perry's house, and y'all finna pull up like, we can't miss this. Tyler Perry doing the Juneteenth all black affair. We got to, we got to go to that. Because Drake and everybody finna be, why don't we go to all that? When we go to, like, that's my point, is our desire, and this was my pause for anything that typically happens with African Americans and people, and the people that feel like black men are being targeted, right? And they're being targeted for their legacies. I don't believe that. I believe that you as an individual put yourself in the bad position of potentially being targeted. But you got to put yourself there first.
So when you say targeting black, Shannon Sharp, for example, is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah.
So
because I'm not going to discredit a person that feels like a woman that's made a claim.
Yeah.
Or any woman that's made a claim. I'm not going to discredit that. I'm not going to discredit if Grace Jabari said Jonathan Majors hit her. I'm not going to discredit that at all.
Yeah, but even if you weren't even there, you could be a target just by purposes of a complaint being filed, and then you have to defend yourself. But so you can be a target without having anything to do with it, and that's the scary part about the justice system that we can't get away from, especially if we have money, because then we are walking targets. Then we make bad decisions that make us as targets standing still.
Well, I made a post not too long ago, and I said, black people, black men especially, that have built their success through systems of white supremacy have gotten too comfortable and forgotten that they're black.
And they've put themselves in certain positions.
So for me, there's a certain level of there's a rapport and a respect that I have for every culture and every race that I do business with. But I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to get around you. Mm-hmm. And if I had a vice of drinking, smoking, doing drugs, sleeping with strippers, you're not going to see me do that. It's too comfortable.
Right.
You getting too everybody getting too comfortable because then you forget. Remember, you're black. So when shit go down, they will have you in jail on the court and dragging your ass up out of there. Mm-hmm. And I think, and I'm not here to judge. I look at people. I get constant reminders of when I see things like that. And I say, Isaac, remember that before you even have the thought or your idea of doing anything that could compromise the success of what you're trying to build with your business. Think about it. Think of what you're trying to build. And I think all people, I don't care what race you are, I think all people should think like that. Because I don't think that certain people thought that they were going to achieve the level of success when they did. So some of the things that they do or some of the ways that they behave, they didn't think that. I didn't think I was going to build a social media platform. Who knows? Like you said, maybe I will run for president, but I got to think like I'm just in case I might.
Right.
But you're also coming from a perspective where, like I love what you said, you're trying to build kings, not be a king.
Yeah.
So you're coming from a perspective where the path that you're on, you're already thinking about way more than yourself.
Correct.
Whereas in a lot of these spaces, it's more so like I want to be the
man.
It's
Highlander.
And then
There can only be one.
And in these spaces, I'm the black man in these spaces, and I'm in these spaces, and I can attribute that to my success because this is me.
Yeah.
As opposed to your perspective is already a broader perspective because it's not just about you. So your whole walk is obviously going to be different from most of these cats that we're referring to. Right. And these cats that get themselves in trouble by
But here's the thing, it's not I don't blame them because that's the way that it was done. That's the only when you don't live in Atlanta, that's your only shot. You do have to permeate white supremacy.
You do.
On some level.
Oh, if you live in the North, you do.
You saw that clip of Reginald Hudgens talking about when they were making Boomerang?
Well, which one? He
said we went to Paramount to make Boomerang. He said we want to make this romantic comedy with an all black lead, and Reggie Hudgens was talking about okay, Eddie Murphy with the broad nose and the big lips, and he said the black man in me wanted to beat his ass, but if I did, he wins because we get fired,
Right.
and the movie doesn't get made. So you still have to permeate. You still have to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying is like, I always say like this. What I say is like, I know all the other filmmakers in Hollywood are respected for their talent. Tyler Perry is respected for his business. Because the difference between Tyler
More
Perry,
so than his talent.
the difference between Tyler Perry and everybody else is, if Ryan Coogler want to make a movie or Spike Lee want to make a movie, they got to go to the studio and ask for permission to get the money to make their movie, and then they make their movie.
Right.
Okay. Tyler Perry go in his back pocket, write a check to his production company, goes on down to his movie studio, films his movie, and then puts it out on BET Plus, which he owns a part of, or does a deal with it. There's nobody in the way to tell him what to do. So he's free to distribute content in the way that he does. And what does the black community do to Tyler Perry? We criticize him. Yeah. We say his movies aren't good enough.
Mm-hmm. And here's what I say to that. I've seen plenty of white movies that are not good, and I've given them a chance all the way to the credits. So I will not criticize Tyler Perry.
You know what's so funny? You know what I think about Tyler Perry? I say this all the time. Tyler Perry's content on some level is no different than Mama's Family and Charles in Charge. And those shows stay on the air for years.
You got that right.
When I see Medea, I see Mama's Family. But Medea is it's ghetto and cheap or whatever. Mama's Family, Vicki Lawrence do it. It should stay on there for 10 years. Mm-hmm, everybody love it. The people in the South and those areas that love that content eat it up, consume it. They watch it for years.
It's still on.
Right.
It's still on.
They those shows, Charles in Charge, they just become staples of middle America, but middle black America. But then we get bougie and talking about but it's like it doesn't matter. He's selling the content to his community.
Yeah.
And it's made him a billionaire doing it.
Because guess who's buying it?
Yeah.
But I find it. So your thoughts about people being a little more cautious in terms of circles, like if you're smoking and you're drinking, don't do it and don't do it out there because you're still a black man or a black woman. But then I think about social media and I'm wondering what we all think about just the boundaries that we should have on social media, because the same way you get in trouble in real time by smoking and drinking, and then you get caught out there, you can get yourself in trouble online by something that you say, something that you do, something that you post. But we've got different rules on social media. No fact checking, no shadow banning, no nothing. Just everybody out there doing. And how do you come to grips with that? Because
it's easy. Well, first of all, I understand that. I understand that humans are humans and that we judge. We're judgmental unfairly.
Yeah.
Judgmental. We don't give people the grace to change, to be different. So if you said something stupid in 2010 and it comes in and people find it in 2025, they feel like you said it yesterday.
Right. As if people can't change.
Right. So even the fact that I was in the music industry from 99 till probably 2015. And then I came up with the idea for Fanbase in 2018. But the first thing I did when I came with the idea for Fanbase?
Well, you trademarked it.
One.
Okay.
What was the second thing I did literally right after that?
The second thing you did.
I deleted my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, all the way up to that point. Said, I'm different now. So if I might have said, because here's the thing, I might have been on the internet and said, I might have been on the internet and made fun of Usher's outfit on one of the award shows. And then now I see Usher sitting in front of me trying to get him to work with him and invest in my company. So it's like, I might have said, I hate the Cavs or I hate the Heat. Yeah. LeBron is an asshole. But now I'm trying to do business with him. So like, I always say when you're posting things on social media, I always say never post your thoughts. Post only things that you would say to a person.
I wish.
Yeah, that saves a lot.
Oh yeah.
Would I really say this to in LeBron's face? No, I won't say it. Would I really say this? Or
just type it, put it in your drafts box.
People post stuff online and say, "There's no way you say that to my face, dog."
Right.
You get knocked. You get clocked. You wouldn't say that. You're a keyboard warrior. Cut it out.
Right.
And we all do that. We all get frustrated. We all be watching TV and say something. How many artists have you known that have said something and they wind up signed to the artist? Like, man, what's the name? It's trash. You just signed to deal with it.
Right.
You just signed to their label.
Yeah, we don't need to hear every single thought.
Yeah, but I mean,
And you're right. People are not forgiving. People are not
No,
forgiving.
I think people are just looking for. I think people are looking for conflict.
Yeah.
So social media, and this is for anybody that has a show or a podcast or a blog or making content. I say this all the time. There are 4 pillars of engagement. I'm give this to y'all, and I guarantee it'll change everything. I don't know how many views y'all get on your content now, but I promise you it'll change everything about what y'all do.
Okay.
The 4 pillars of engagement are attention, information, entertainment, and conflict. If you can put all 4 of those together, you'll have the most viral piece of content you ever had in your life. And what I mean by attention, information, entertainment, and conflict, let's take like The View.
Yeah.
So The View is, the attention is, I'm here, you're here to promote your new show. You're on The View. That's what you're here for too, right? Information is, we'll be right back for the best back to school fashions for the fall. Mm-hmm. Information. Entertainment, so-and-so's here to perform their new single. And conflict is, the hosts go at each other.
That's right.
Go at each other. So when you have that, so when you take Cat Williams' interview, he was there to plug it. He got information, attention. He was dropping all the tea. He was funny as hell, and he was coming at everybody. That's why that was it. That was the supernova of attention, information, entertainment, and conflict. That's why that interview went so huge. Because it's like, all right, I'm here to talk about, bring attention to things. I'm here to provide the information and the backstory to all this shit. I'm a joke and say it. Very, very funny. You gotta say no to Diddy. You just got whatever. And he's calling out Steve Harvey and Kevin Hart and everybody else. And we love that. Everybody loves that.
So I'm curious, just with, when we talk about Elon, right, and taking over Twitter, how do you see ownership of social media, like that kind of ownership of social media platforms affecting the future of social media?
Well, I mean, I think that there has to be some sort of integrity involved in what you're doing. And Elon Musk and even Mark Zuckerberg, in instances, have not shown integrity in building something so powerful. You know, they want to get richer. And they're doing it. But they're accomplishing their agenda. I think Elon Musk believes in white supremacy. He wants to further that and extend white supremacy as long as he can. And the way to do that is to build a social network that he can control, that can influence elections, that can install him in government to try to change things. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. He did it. Now, I don't know why Jack Dorsey sold it to him. He was tripping. Jack was tripping for that. He was
pushed out. I mean, when we talk about co-founders and boards,
no, he wasn't pushed out. He handed that thing over to him. He was pushed out in the beginning.
Okay, in the beginning, because it was twice.
When
That's
he came
what I'm
back.
trying to say.
And then when he came back, he became a fanboy of Elon and said, "You want to take over Twitter?"
True.
And sold it to him. And I'm like, and as soon as he said that, as soon as he did, I was like, he finna use this
to move politics.
To rig the election. He finna do this to influence the election. You know that, right? And he was like, no. And he was like, no, it's going to be the freedom of speech. And then first thing he did is he started, no matter what he posted, it ended up in your feed.
That's right.
You couldn't get rid of Elon. You had to block him to get him off your feed. So I think...
And there's no government oversight. All of it is just kind of the wild, wild west. There's little, if any. You see them in front of the Senate talking, but really in terms of what's going on now, they can do whatever they want, almost. And they can pay for any mistakes, and they've put that in their budget, so to speak, in planning.
And that's why I go back to the question about the future of social media, because I get the concept of you have to go into it with integrity, but that's not the reality. That's not the reality of what's happening. So the social media, so just the kind of hold that social media has, does it ultimately become like our downfall?
So I can't answer that question with an affirmative yes or no. One of the things that I know is as I build Fanbase, in any functionality or thing that we think about building, I always say you have to take something to hell before you take it to heaven. Meaning you got to figure out, how can somebody use this in the most negative way versus the most positive way, and then figure out, should we build it? Which I think people should do with AI. People are like, well, somebody could build self-driving or self-operated robots with machine guns that shoot missiles, or we could cure cancer, and all these other things. And so there has to be some level of integrity involved. That's all I'm saying. So I think my goal in being disruptive is to giving people a voice. The byproduct of that is yet to be seen, but I think it's needed, meaning the censorship, that the ability for Black people to message collectively and make movements happen and not be restricted on social media has to happen. We have to build platforms that allow us to express and mobilize and move in ways so that we are not shadow banned on Instagram, where you can't talk about what's happening in the Middle East. You can't talk about what's happening in Africa right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, pray for old boy, because he talking that shit over in Africa. The president of what's his name?
It's not ringing.
If you're on that phone, oh boy, you know the president of Ibrahim.
I should know.
The general who took over as president.
Yeah, boy, he one of them ones. Yeah, he one of them ones. He one of them ones like they gonna try like, boy, protect him at all costs, because he's the guy he's the first African I've ever heard that could probably unify the entire Africa. That's how he talking. He young, he's smart.
All right.
Oh, and charismatic and everything. He know his stuff. Like, he kicked all the French out of the company and took the gold mine back, built their own gold mine. Now they're exporting stuff. Like, y'all gotta buy this stuff from us. Y'all ain't coming here and just taking all our minerals. Nah, we about to do business. Like, he over there doing that kind of stuff. Like, everybody's looking at him like, oh. They done tried to assassinate him like 18 times. Well, the last one, they tried to get his homeboy to kill him, and they offered him $41 million. That's how bad they want him up out of there.
Wow. That means he is somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, he one of them ones.
Hey, comrades, come join us on our Patreon page.
Where you can get behind-the-scenes footage, discounts on merchandise, and exclusive content.
We'll see you there.
Not all hood.